Hey everyone, how's it going? Um, I'm sure, like you all, you came prepared with your paper airplane. So excited. Um, I titled this kind of on my own notes and everything, my informed thoughts on Joshua. So I'm really excited to have this today. I worked really hard on it. And I'm excited to see everyone else's paper airplanes. Um, the problem being that that has nothing to do with anything, except that's actually in some ways how I feel about Joshua. The historicity and the archaeology and everything we've been learning lately feels like every pastor, every teacher I've had previously seemed to frame Joshua as a very historically factual book and something that we can really lean into as history. It's human history that going into this class and in this time now, we would be reading about people who have cross-referenced with the Bible and been like, guys, see, it's true, it's awesome, it's so fun. Um, so I feel as though I've come into this class being told how to make a paper airplane when I actually needed to be making a submarine. Very different, completely different purposes. Um, so for my notes, it feels as though the historicity and the archaeology of Joshua paint a very different picture than what I grew up with, what I've been told, um, even my preconceived notions coming into the class. Uh, I'm still inclined to believe things like Jericho or the Battle of Ai actually happened, that there was actually a battle there, but there's some embellishing, some hyperbole, and that it was done on purpose to kind of prove a point. In thinking about this, I was kind of also thinking of Genesis. Bear with me a little bit here. And I was thinking about Moses coming back to the land of Egypt and being attacked by the Lord or an angel or what have you. And the battle, this fight, doesn't happen until Moses's wife takes a flint knife, circumcises their child, and takes the skin and touches it to Moses. Super weird story. I swear I'm going somewhere with this. Um, the when I first heard that, the point that kind of came into my head was why? Why is this in here? What's going on? Did this actually happen? If it did, why? If it didn't, why did we write it? So that's kind of where I'm coming at with Joshua now and the historicity and the archaeological findings that something must have happened. And I'm kind of taking this from Golden Gate, that there is something to be gleaned. We might not know the exactness, the fact of the matter, but from the text, we can see the truth of it. Um, I really am leaning into this kind of embellishment factor. Like in the lectures this week, the numbers that are used for the Battle of Ai, extreme, intense, ridiculous, but it highlights, it hones in on, it makes us focus on these numbers and makes us see um, the ways that humans come at problems and how the spies say, oh, just a few hundred men, it'll be fine, it's easy. And of course they lose. Um, when it comes to Joshua and these historical things, I do, again, think something happened. And I think that something gets wrapped up in some embellishment to highlight the ways that humanity is in need of Yahweh. That um, the writers are trying to show that the Israelites are the people of Yahweh, and that when we stray from God's plan, things can go to crap. But when we focus and reattune ourselves to God and God's plan, that's when successes happen. That's when we can notice these ridiculous numbers and be like, oh, well, God must have made 15,000 men seem like 30,000, or 5,000 seem like 30,000. It's intense and crazy. And we listened and changed our plans, and it ended up lining up with what God wanted. So I'm noticing my clock is over 5 minutes. So to wrap up, I'm seeing a lot of this as not entirely historical fact. But again, Golden Gate points to the truth of the text, that there's a lot of theologically rich reasons, even if we are not seeing the historical human things that we would have liked to have been written down. It points to a bigger narrative, and it's way more interesting this way. Yeah, thanks for listening.